A political earthquake is shaking Europe to its core. Whispers have turned into shockwaves as a stunning claim detonates across capitals. Donald Trump allegedly moving in lockstep with Vladimir Putin, working behind the scenes to block Europe from unleashing frozen Russian assets for Ukraine. If true, this is no routine maneuver. It's a power play that could fracture alliances, upend transatlantic unity, and redraw the rules of the war itself. The claims come from Politico, citing multiple European officials. They say Trump administration figures are urging friendly EU states to back away. The plan under fire would use Russian assets to finance loans for Kyiv. European leaders are preparing to confront the issue in Brussels. According to the report, the pressure is targeted and strategic. Officials say it is aimed at governments seen as closest to Washington. The message is blunt: abandon plans to tap Russian sovereign assets. A senior EU official warned the intent is to weaken Europe's resolve. This dispute exposes deeper fractures across the continent. At stake is how Europe responds to a new global power balance and how far it is willing to go under unprecedented US pressure. After Russia launched its military operation, EU and G7 states froze reserves. Around 200 billion euros are held within the European Union. Most of that money sits inside Belgium's Euroclear clearinghouse. Moscow retaliated by restricting foreign assets in special C-type accounts. Withdrawals require approval from a Russian government commission. Russia's central bank has also sued Euroclear for trillions of rubles. Brussels has pledged support for Kyiv for as long as necessary, but officials privately admit resources are running out. Many states are reluctant to fund Ukraine directly from national budgets.
To be quite frank, that thievery is simply in the Europeans' very blood. We are witnessing this with the example of the frozen Russian assets. By the way, Iranian assets have also been partially frozen, just as the assets of Venezuela have been frozen and those of many other countries as well. So this kind of propensity for theft, it seems, is genetically inherent in many of our Western colleagues. Now it's true, they've started to quarrel amongst themselves. Is it really okay to just steal Russian money? There are some sane voices speaking up, but they're simply trying to drown them out in about the harsh criticisms from Brussels. It's not without reason, by the way, that already in numerous media sources, both in Russia and abroad, Ursula von der Leyen is referred to as nothing other than Führer Ursula.
The European Commission is seeking Belgium's consent to use the assets. Belgian authorities have so far refused to approve the move. EU leaders failed to reach agreement when they met in October. Another decision may come at the December summit. According to Politico, the real obstacle is no longer Belgium. It is the political weight of Donald Trump's intervention. 4 EU officials say Washington is shaping the stalemate.
It's precisely about what the European Union needs to do now and practically ensure further funding so that we can urgently increase our production capacities, attract private capital, involve small and medium-sized enterprises, and also help Ukraine. And this includes releasing frozen Russian assets.
It is of the utmost importance for us that in this truly historical moment, we position ourselves firmly on the correct side.
Since the dissolution of the Warsaw Pact, there has been no significant threat to the continent of Europe.
And you have indeed successfully, through NATO expansion, built Russia into the new enemy. You are continuing to try to do that. That's why you also want to continue the war, by the way, and continue to finance it, so that you can simply maintain this enemy image. And are you speaking for your associations, for the organizations you represent, for the military industry as their lobbyists, or are you sitting here as an elected member of parliament? I am quoting the official American government, and it is absolutely right. That hits you right to the very core. I am telling you the only real threat we have in Europe is illegal migration. You should rather use those 250 billion to build.
The fact is, this EU is prepared for absolutely nothing, and you should therefore verbally disarm. On the contrary, we should be grateful to Donald Trump for his peace initiative. Trump shows us we need diplomacy and reason, and above all, a post-war strategy. The current show yesterday in Berlin was nothing more than a miserable show.
For anyone who is afraid of this European army, I want to make it very clear. The alternative is something far more terrifying. It is the total irrelevance for Europe. If we want Trump, Putin and Xi Jinping to take us seriously, then we must stop deluding ourselves.
And step by step, we must bring all military matters to a European level. It's either a unified European army or European irrelevance.
Trump's security strategy is the latest reality check for those who thought strengthening European defense wasn't urgent. Today, NATO remains the fundamental pillar of our collective security, at least in the short and medium term. However, if we truly wish for this alliance to be robust, we cannot possibly base its foundation upon mere dependence, but rather on a truly shared responsibility. This is a responsibility that each and every one of the partners must fully embrace, and which will collectively contribute to our overall security and common defense.
The White House has strongly denied the allegations. Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly dismissed the reports. She urged caution over claims based on anonymous sources. Kelly said America's sole goal is to achieve peace. She said the U.S. is facilitating talks, not blocking asset use. Both Moscow and Kyiv have made their positions clear, she added. Germany's chancellor issued a stark warning on national television. Friedrich Merz said Europe risks severe long-term damage, and failure to fund Ukraine would expose deep political weakness.
If we do not succeed in this, then the very capacity for action of this European Union will be massively damaged for years, if not for a much longer period than just a brief one. And with this, we will show the world that we, in such a decisive hour of our history, are not capable of standing together and acting to collectively defend our own political order on this European continent.
Ukraine faces a budget gap of more than 70 billion euros next year. Without funding by April, spending cuts could hit morale and defense. Nearly 4 years into the war, time is running out for Kyiv. Whether pressure or perception, the impact is already real. Europe stands divided as Ukraine's finances hang in the balance, and a new geopolitical fault line is rapidly taking shape.